When he said that, that kind of struck a chord with me. Manage your focus, don't manage your time. If you're thinking, okay, I got 90 days, you're going to procrastinate and say, oh, I got 90 days. Then next thing you know, oh, I got 2 months. Okay, next thing you know, a whole year goes by and you haven't done anything. And focus is the biggest key to anything really that you do in life as far as succeeding. Deep work. When you work, you cut off the phone, cut off distractions, cut off sometimes even the podcast, the YouTubes, just deep work. You're just locked in, cut off. There's so many distractions now. TV, your phone, this device, so distracting. Are you able to do deep work? If you are, you will succeed. So the focus is really, they say time management. Focus management is key. Time is good. You got to know how to plan and organize. But so what? You plan, you organize. Now it's time to go down your to-do list. And when you're on task number 1, you're picking up a call, you checking your inbox, you're watching something that just popped up that's trendy. You're not focused. You could plan all you want, but if you don't do deep work where you're locked into the task at hand, it's a waste of time. All right, welcome everybody to your real estate podcast, episode 2. We got a great show ahead in store for y'all. We're talking about a lot of things, the real estate market. We're going to look at trends. We're going to look at the interest rates nationally. We're going to look at some national stats, how the market is doing. We also got tips for home buyers in this market and home sellers. We're also going to talk to our real estate agents, especially those just getting in the business, just share some tips, strategies on how to navigate the market. As we know, the market is a little interesting right now, a bit challenging, but there are ways to succeed. So we're going to talk about all that to sellers, buyers, and just look at the market stats. All right, well, stay tuned and we'll be with you in a second. All right, so real estate market update. As we know, the market is heating up in some areas, slowing down in a lot of areas. As if you watched the episode from last week, that story still continues. A tale of two markets. You got houses that are getting multiple offers flying off the listings, and the MLSs just flying off the shelves, flying off the market, right? While other houses, on the other hand, can't seem to sell. For instance, in the city where I stay, the average sales time for a house, average days on the market goes about 56 days. But in the county as a whole, we're looking at 30 days, which is a dip from like 19 days, same time last year. So I got an article here talking about sustainability. This is from the National Association of Realtors. Just talking about things you can do to add value to your home to kind of get it to sell. And I'll read this. It says 32% of respondents reported that the MLS is green data fields. So what is this talking about? Green data fields, talking about sustainability as far as energy, green energy, solar panels and things of that nature. A lot of states kind of offer incentives for people to get solar panels. And it says, and respondents typically use green data fields to promote green features and energy information. Second bullet point here says 63% said energy efficiency promotion in listings was very or somewhat valuable. Very valuable in some areas, somewhat valuable to other people. Meaning, when you list your home and you say it's energy efficient, has a solar panel, it's never a bad thing. A lot of people, 63% saying it's very valuable. Others are saying somewhat valuable. So that's just another tool you can add to your arsenal as far as getting your home sold. And we're going to talk to sellers as far as how you can get your home sold, things you need to do to improve it. And that's why I wanted to touch on this topic. Sustainability, green energy, right? It's just one more thing you can do to get your home a little bit more appealing. And that defines the tale of two markets. As I said, one market, same city, same county, just different neighborhoods, different cul-de-sacs. One house may fly off the market with great offers, while the others may struggle to sell. All right, I'll continue. It says 48% of respondents found clients were at least somewhat interested in sustainability. So gas prices were high this past winter. For those, well, I use oil to heat my house, and I think it takes 800 gallons. Super expensive. It was over $1,000 or so to just fill the tank up. And based on how you run your heat, how often you're in the house. If you got children, you're in the house all the time. If you're by yourself and you work a lot, or you're out there, you may not be home all the time. You may just, but if you're home all the time and your heat is on all the time, just imagine refilling that once a week or twice a month or something. And also, just by the way, I heard it's more economical if you just have your heat sustained at like 70 degrees, all your air, 68 or 70 degrees or a little higher, rather than cutting it on and blasting it to 80. That surge, that increase in power for a short time can sometimes cost more. I'll continue. It says 42% of homes with green certification spent neither more or less time on the market. 42% of homes with green certifications neither spent more or less time on the market. So about, that's give or take. It's not really a huge factor to determine whether your house is going to move off the market or not. But not a bad addition, actually, not a bad selling point. So this is off Redfin, just talking about the market update right now. This is the second week in the month of May. It says median sales price negative 2.7% year over year. 4-week rolling average of the median sales price of homes sold. So the median sales price just last week was $375,000. Now it's down to $370,625. So there's a little dip in the market. Median sale price nationwide, just something to keep in mind if you're interested in buying or selling a house. It says median asking price. Once again, this is off just the Redfin website, not the National Association of Realtors website. This is Redfin saying the median asking price is up 0.5% year over year. So that means the equity on homes have not been wiped out yet. Even though the market has slowed down, it's not at the point of the 2008 levels where equity almost all across the board were wiped out. So the house value is still going up. That's what this is saying, but they're not selling quite as fast, right? At least the asking price. What it is actually sold for, as we read, is down. So you may ask for more or just ask for what you think you'll get, but what you actually are going to get is a little lower nationwide. But as we talked about last week, there's this tale of two market things going on where in some areas, you get more clients bidding on your house. Just today I went to show 3 properties, and in 2 of those properties I met other potential buyers and their realtors there, showing the property. The third one, I was the only one there with my client. So I say all that to say there's still buyers out there looking, and if the neighborhood is a little hot, you know, if the market is hot in that neighborhood, then you're going to get multiple offers and you can get a little bit over your asking price. But if your house isn't in a good neighborhood and your curb appeal is not up to par, you may not get the asking price. So the market is still workable. Asking price is went up a tad bit, but what people are getting is a bit lower than they expected. Home buying payments is a plus 0.97% year over year. And we kind of broke that down last week in the podcast. We talked a lot about different counties. Prince George's County, if my memory serves me correctly, your average mortgage went up like $770. Montgomery County in Maryland, I believe, was like, it went from $2,500 to somewhere around $3,500 or so, $3,800. Somewhere around, well, $3,100 and some change. Washington, D.C., which is close by here, that's the one that went from 20 something to about $4,000 everywhere. So your average monthly mortgage, just based on interest rates, and we're going to touch on interest rates a little bit into the program, so stay tuned. We'll walk you through what the current interest rates are. But I wanted to kind of touch on other things, not just bombard you with stats, kind of engage a little bit in different topics and just tips and strategies for buyers, sellers, and agents. But I do have all the current interest rates here that I'll run by you as we go. All right. New listings was down negative 19% year over year. So compared to this time last year, in the month of May, Redfin is saying that new listings are down. I like to look at different websites. So if you stay tuned, I have a little bit of allergies going on. Just a disclaimer. So you might see me sniffling a little bit here and there. The springtime is not the best for me, with the pollen out there. I take some medication for it, but I try not to take them all the time. Kind of let it get out of my system, but if I have to go door knocking and I'll be out there showing properties, I'll take them. Just by the way, I was out there showing properties, forgot to take my meds today, and I'm like, man, sneezing all over the place. Good thing I was able to do it in the car and not around the clients. Anyway, active listings for sale are up plus 4% year over year. So some people are trying to sell. A lot of people are trying to sell. Active listings is up. Why is active listing up but new listings are down? New listings are down. How does that make sense? Let me try to explain that. New listings are down because not a whole lot of people are trying to sell. They're like, if I sell my house, where am I going to go? I don't want to sell my house and then pick up a higher mortgage. So if you say new listings are down, how come active listings are up? Because houses are not flying off the market as fast as they were last year. So for instance, let's say last year 1,000 homes were on the market. They'll probably take 19 days to sell on average. Now you put 1,000 homes on the market, you take about 30 days to sell. So when the following month comes up, you still got about maybe those 1,000 homes, but let's say 700 of them still on the market into the following month. Now, for that second month, that increases the active listings. I don't know if that makes sense. So let's say in the month of May that we're in, or let's say April that just concluded, you had 1,000 homes on the market, right? Last year, this time in 19 days, all those homes, on average, most of them will be gone. So starting May, maybe you got 300 of those homes that transferred in from April into May. This year now, and then let's say in the month of May now, you got 1,000 more homes. So now you got 1,300 total homes on the market. That's the active listings, right? That was last year. Just a rough explanation of that. Why the new listings are down, but the active listings are up. So now in this year's market, let's say in April, you got 1,000 homes on the market. Coming into May, only 300 of those homes sold. Now you got 700 of those homes that were active coming into this month. So even though the new listings may be down, the amount of active listings not selling, transferring month to month, increases the total active listings on the market. Pending sales are down negative 16%. Not too much transaction going on all over the place. Months of supply availability on the market. What is this? Down 2.6. So everything is months of supply is up. So they're saying inventory is up a little bit. That's just because houses are not selling. It talks about pending sales under contract, gives the percentage there. Sold homes, the median sale days on the market, median days on the market is now at 32. So that's a big drop. As we said, last year was somewhere around 19%. All right. 32% of homes sold above final list price. In 2022, we were looking at 50% of homes that sold above list price. So that's a huge drop. It may seem like, wow, some homes, 32% of homes are selling over list price. That's in the good market. Those are the homes that look good and are very appealing. So what we're going to talk about is how you can kind of get that kind of money for your house, right? So I think we're going to transition into sellers. That's what we're going to talk about. Selling your home. Before we get into national stats and before we get into the interest rates, I think we're going to talk about sellers. Just things you can do to get your home sold. That's just some real estate market update and some news in the real estate market. All right, so next we're going to talk about tips for sellers. If you're a homeowner and you're trying to sell your home for sale by owner and you're not trying to pay a commission, you came to the right place, and we're going to talk about that right now. All right, let's talk about tips for sellers, right? If you're selling your home in this market, as we've seen, some homes are flying off the market, others are not flying off the market. So number one, what you want to do is get an inspection. The reason why I always advise my sellers to get an inspection is you want to know what's wrong with your house. You don't want any liability down the line, because in the state of Maryland, the buyer has about 3 years to kind of file a complaint after they purchase a home, right? So you want to make sure the home is up and up. Complaint mostly against the realtors, but if the buyer finds out or the realtor finds out you had some knowledge of damages and you didn't disclose them, then that's going to be on you and not that realtor. So you may want to get an inspection so you know what you're walking into. You're not technically obligated. It's the seller's, as the buyer's job to kind of find out what's wrong with the property. You disclose obvious things. You disclose certain things you can disclose. Other things, it's really up to them, and really how you word it in the contract. If you put it as is, then they kind of take on a lot of the liability. So you really want to get an inspection just to be a fair person and to do good business, right? And just to wash yourself off any liability or anything like that. You want to kind of get an inspection. Secondly, I would say do some repairs. Touch up your house. As far as curb appeal, something I want to talk about is the saying goes, don't judge a book by its cover. Unfortunately, in the real estate business, people do judge a book by its cover. Curb appeal is the phrase, right? And last week, as I said, if your house has great curb appeal, it's going to fly off the market. If your house doesn't have good curb appeal, it's really not going to fly off the market, right? You may even get lowball offers in this type of market. Last week, we saw an article talking about how fixer-uppers are not flying. One, we got to think about interest rates being high and inflation, cost of goods in hardware stores to repair your house or build the house or upgrade the house is just more pricey now. So the profit margin has eroded, right? For those who are fix and flippers, investors, and so on and so forth. So people are, even the buyers, I'm showing properties, most people are not trying to buy a project anymore. They just want a house that they can move in and live comfortably for the next few years before getting repairs. So do the repairs. One, that's going to get your market the value you're asking for. Some homes are still like we're at 32% of homes nationwide are still selling over the asking price. Yours can be one of those if you get the necessary repairs. What are we talking about here? Landscape, that's just one. Get your grass looking good, or the outdoors, whatever you got going on outside. Painting. Painting is very cheap, and it can really increase the value, just the presentation, the appeal of the house. Inside of the house, you want to change the tiles, based on the year your house was built. You don't want all the wet wallpapers on your wall. Get some modern tiles. Some vanities are really not that expensive. If you go to a local box store, like a hardware store, get some vanities. Just some tips. You want to change all the locks on your door. If you got those old like brass kind of locks, black is kind of trendy a little bit. Chrome, it just depends, right? But the black doorknobs is kind of trendy right now, but that may not be the case later on or in your market. Just get something a little bit more modern. But here's the thing, right? When you're selling your home, stay off the bright colors, when you're painting, right? Like the green, the purples, the yellows, the pinks. You want your house to look kind of blend like an office building almost, or an apartment complex. So white, grays, beige, something just subtle. You don't want these colors that may throw people off. Some kind of blue kind of works a little bit, but not like a bright royal blue or something, like a navy blue. Just get something blend, something that can appeal to a lot of people. You don't want to get these colors that are just out there, like a red, so be mindful of colors. Change the faucets, the light switches, just minor things. If you got old ceiling fans, $100 and some change can get you some decent ceiling fans. So people do judge a book by its cover, and there's a saying, don't be penny wise, pound foolish. You're trying to save a penny. That's a British saying, right? You're trying to save a penny, you lose a pound. So penny wise, dollar foolish. You can look at it that way. You're trying to save pennies, but then you lose dollars. One, on time of the house being on the market, low ball offers, you lose that. You make a ton of seller concessions just because you were trying to save a few pennies. So put some money away to get the house looking up and up. In the urban lingo, they say scared money don't make money. If you're scared to kind of like spend money, you're not going to make money, right? Pay to play almost. So please use your money, kind of get your house up and up, do the repairs, stage the property. We talked about that already in a previous episode, but just to skim through it, you want to depersonalize the property, make it less about you and just like a showroom, like like you go to a furniture showroom, you don't see people's, unless you go to like the salesperson's desk, you're not going to see things like personal pictures and a whole lot of clutter. You want to declutter everything. Just depersonalize it, make it look like a showroom at a furniture store. That's a good example. If you can take professional pictures, do, but if you cannot, you don't want to This is the median home price in America. We just read is $370 something thousand. That's a lot of money you selling your property for. So do the investment. Scared money don't make money. Don't be penny wise and pound foolish, right? Hire a professional photographer, videographer, so they can make some like really good presentational photo slides for you and video slides for you. These are tips for selling your home for sale by owner. We're not even talking about real estate agents. We're just talking about you selling your home. And we just read the article about the solar panels, right? That's kind of going overboard, but it helps. But we saw that it hasn't caught on all the way yet. I know some states give benefits to homeowners that tax credits. Other states don't. Some states actually pay for it. There's so many different stipulations on that. So just look at your local county, your local laws, and see how that works. After professional photos and videos, we're going to look at marketing it, right? So if we're talking about selling it for sale by owner without an agent, you want to look at Trulia, Redfin, Zillow, list them on these places. The multiple listing service, the MLS, if my memory serves me correctly, can only realtors can list it there. So if you're doing it for sale by owner, you may not be able to get your property on the MLS, but now there's so many websites that you can still kind of get traffic. You can market it, put the word out, word of mouth, talk to people in your area, talk to people in your social media networks, and just let them know your house is for sale. Put good pictures, put a sign in front of your yard for sale by owner, and you never know what can fall through the pipeline, right? You got Angie, they used to have Craigslist, things like that. So there are a few options you can use. Then the next step in selling your property for sale by owner is going to be CMA, a comparative market analysis. It's very detailed, right? So I don't want you to hold me to this. Quick disclaimer. For us as realtors, that we have so many tools, we can just pop in some numbers and it prints everything out. But I'll try to walk you through the steps on how to do a calculation. This is not only for homeowners, but also like investors. Investors that are looking at properties to buy and they want to make an offer, right? So for sale by owner, make an offer or sell a property. Comparative market analysis. I'll try to give you a quick breakdown on how to go about a CMA, how to calculate it, right? But once again, we have tools and calculators that we just pop in properties and it kind of prints everything out, details it out for us. But I'll try to just walk you through. So let's get to it. You take your property, which is the subject property, right? You get the address. Then you kind of do one of those Google circles, you know, you search the radius, the neighborhood, and you see, you know, you can do this on Zillow, you can do this on different websites, Trulia, Redfin, all these different websites to see what homes sold in that area. You can then drive to those homes, just take a visual, get a visual glimpse, see how it actually looks, because looks can be deceiving, right? So what you see online, these pictures can be edited, they can take it. I remember I bought a house and then the inside was like so bright on the picture. When I actually went in there, man, it was dark. They did some kind of lighting and everything. They can fool you, you know, so you never know. So go there, go try to view the property. You may not be able to go in the house, but you can just kind of look around and see what what the house looks like, the curb appeal, right? So make sure there are no like glaring differences between the houses that sold and yours. You want to narrow down the similarities to as close as you possibly can when you're doing a CMA. So you get your property, which is the target property, then we're going to give you two examples here real quick on how to do a CMA for a seller. You got your property, which is the target property. And in example one, we're going to look at three different properties, right? Property A, we're going to call it B and C. So let's say property A, your property, target property has 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2,000 square foot lot size, and sells for 380, right? 380. I use that number because that's the median home price in the state of Maryland. So you got 380 grand. That's your target property. You got 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Lot size 2,000 square feet. 380 grand. Example one got 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Somewhere similar, 2,100 square feet. Sells for 375,000. Example two, subject property two, same, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. About, let's say, 1,900 square feet. Sells for 3,800. And then property C, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2,000 square feet, same as yours, sells for 377,000. So you got 375, 380, and 377. You can say your price is fair. You price your home in a fair way, right? You can even ask a little more or a little less based on urgency to sell or whether you're trying to net the most. So that's very easy on how to calculate that. But sometimes you may be trying to calculate that and you look in your neighborhood and you don't see apples to apples, right? Excuse me. You got apples and oranges. They're both fruits, so both houses, but subject property A got 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 2,100 square feet. It goes for 375 grand. Remember, your property, the target property, has 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2,000 square feet lot size, and you are asking 380 grand for it. You want to see if you're overpricing the house or underpricing the house. So now subject property, as we mentioned, 3 bedroom, 1 bath, 2,100 square feet. You're asking price, that price actually sold for. You want to look at what it was sold for, 375,000. Property B, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 3,500 square feet lot size. Sells for 395,000, right? Subject property C, in your neighborhood, these are the only options you have to kind of weigh things. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2,500 square feet, sells for 420 grand. So now, how would you know what your house cost? In example two, what we'll do, because the similarities are kind of there, glaring the differences also are there. You got 3 bedrooms, 3 and then 4. You got a 2 bath, 3 baths and 1. Then square footage is kind of up and down the place. How do you see if you're asking something a fair market value? I'll just say get a state certified appraiser, and they just give you an appraised value of your home. If you really think your house is worth a lot, but if you want to save costs on getting that appraiser, if the appraiser lowballs your house worth, you may not want to bring that up in selling. But the buyer can go get their appraisal, right? And say, hey, your house appraised for this much. You can say, well, that appraiser is wrong. This is what I think mine is worth because of the market, So here's how you now argue your point. So example two, you list all the differences in the properties, right? You want to state the differences. You list all the properties and you state the differences. So major differences, there are going to be a ton of differences in houses. Appliances are going to be different. Does this house have a fireplace, ceiling fans, door, knobs, the finish, paint on the cabinets, the style of doors? All these things are going to be different. You want to look at the major differences, like garages. Is it an attached garage, no garage, or a detached garage? You want to look at You want to look at bedrooms. You want to look at baths. You know, you want to look at the big major differences. Does it have a pool? Sometimes a door may not be a difference, but I remember this homeowner I knew who bought. I remember this homeowner I knew who bought. Was it almost a $15,000 mahogany door, like handcrafted, and it was imported from Europe. It was just so expensive. Now, as a seller, you got that kind of door. Does the buyer care about that? They may not care about that. So that thing, it may just have sentimental value to you, but the buyer may not care about that door. But some buyers may care about that door. And that door may be something you want to factor in a CMA. It may not be, it may be. So some things are obvious differences, bedrooms, baths, garages, things like that, you know, but windows, they can be differences in whether you got a really old window or brand new windows, the manufacturer, things of that sort. But I'll just say this. The main thing people look at are like bedrooms, baths, square footage, and garage. How many car garages do you have? Is it attached to the house? Is it detached? So on and so forth. So you want to list those differences. So now let's try to break it down, right? We'll look at property A. The major difference versus your property is one bath. Your property has 2 baths. Property A has 1 bath. Your property, you asked 380 grand. Property A sold for 375 grand. So you look at the difference, then you can kind of say 1 bathroom is worth $5,000. As a realtor, we kind of use a bunch of properties and kind of get what the I don't want to say accurate value, but as close to accurate as you can kind of get a precise value of a bathroom cost. When all things being equal, when you calculate the difference in like 7 to 10 properties, let's say all of them have everything the same, and the only difference is the number of bathrooms, you can kind of get a median on the cost of a bathroom. For the sake of this video, we're only going to do 1, 2, 3 properties and kind of give you an idea on how to go about it. So your property, target property versus property A, the difference is bathroom. The price difference is $5,000. We note that 5 grand is the worth of a bathroom, right? Now you take property B, your property, target property versus property B. The main difference there is like the square footage. Your house has 2,000 square feet, your lot size, and the other lot size in property B has 3,500 square feet. That's the only difference. And the price difference is $15,000. You're asking 380 grand, property B sold for 395 grand. So you can kind of say 15,000 square feet. 1,500 square feet is worth $15,000. So the difference of 1,500 square feet is 15K, right? So now, here's how it gets interesting. You look at property C. So now looking at that, you can kind of easily say 500 square feet is worth 5K. 1,000 square feet is worth $10,000. 1,500 square feet, $15,000. You kind of get it, right? So now you take that into property B. It's just basic equation. If you got X plus Y equals Z, and then those two sides of the equation have to equal to each other, right? Same thing you're doing here. So property C versus your property, the difference, 1 bath, we already know a bathroom is worth $5,000. So instead of X, you put in $5,000, right? So it's A plus B plus C equals D. So we're going to say A is bathroom. Now we fill $5,000 in for bathroom. B is bedrooms, question mark. We don't know what a bedroom is worth. But C, A plus B plus C equals D. So we know what A is. A is a bathroom. That's $5,000 plus B, question mark. We don't know how much a bedroom is worth. Plus C, which is going to be the square footage. We now know 500 square footage is worth $5,000 based on property B, right? But like I said, you're going to get multiple properties, compare them, and then kind of get a tangible or common sense conclusion as to what the lot size is. But for the purpose of this video, let's stick to this, right? So $500, 500 more square footage in property C, but now you know that 500 square feet is $5,000. So now you got the price for A, you got the price for C. Now what is B gonna be, right? How do you know? You look at the total price of property C. Property C is 420 grand. Your house is 380 grand. So if we got $10,000 for the bath and the 500 square feet, you got to just know that that remaining $30,000 of difference is going to be the cost of that bedroom, right? So the bedroom is going to be worth 30 grand. So one more bedroom is going to be worth 30 grand. But like I say, just one example is not good enough. You want 3 examples are not good enough. You want to look at multiple properties and kind of get the value. Here's the trick to it, though. I remember one time I was talking about talking to a client for sale by owner, and we were discussing a CMA. His area is just so weird. Right next to him, there's a golf course, and the prices are super high. And down the street, it's like a rural area, farm type area, older houses. So you really, just that square footage may not do you justice. For instance, Washington, D.C. is very small, and a few blocks over can be $1 million houses, and a few blocks down maybe houses that are a lot cheaper, right? So that's the CMA. All things being equal, what's the difference? And then the trick here, though, is you don't subtract or add from your property. You subtract and add from the target property. So property A, 375K, the bathroom difference of 1 bath. If you got to add, if property A had more bathrooms, you add $5,000 to property A. But in this case, it's less, you subtract $5,000, right? Property B, 395 grand, you subtract the 15, you end up with 380 grand. Property C was 420 grand, you subtract the 40 grand difference, you get 380 grand. So out of those 3 properties, we ended up with 370 for property A, 380 for property B, and 380 for property C. This is saying all things being equal, plus or minus what the difference is, how much would this house have sold for, plus or minus this bathroom, plus or minus the extra square footage, plus or minus the extra bedroom, how much would this house have sold for. So now you see that 375 to 380, not too far off in what you're asking for. That's how you want to do it as a for sale by owner. But like I say, look at a ton of properties, for realtors now, not only us, but it's just so automated, everything now, AI, right? You just punch in numbers, you kind of get a value. But it's always good because AI may not necessarily know that this neighborhood is, well, it may know, who knows, based on what they put into the systems now. But the crime rate, how current is that, or the golf course, or just, how people feel about a neighborhood, So these are things you as a realtor knowing your market, you may have an edge. Forget what the computer pops out of the MLS when you punch in numbers. the style of the homes. Is it a ranch? Is it a colonial? Whatever it may be. You want to take apples to apples, close. But also one street over may make a difference in the price, right? So know your neighborhood. And a couple things I want to note. I will look at more properties, as I said, not just 3. This is only for the example. I will account for major differences. We're talking pools, garages, beds, baths, solar panels or something, right? Don't want to account for the little things. Every house is going to have a difference. You don't want to go counting every single faucet, every single, cabinet. No, you just want to kind of get the gist of what the differences are. After the CMA, you put your house on the market. We talked about that. For your asking price, the different sites, the Trulias, the Redfin, so on and so forth, the Zillows. You start accepting offers. After accepting offers, so after you accept offers, you accept the offer, somebody lowballs you, you can make a counter offer. If somebody else makes an offer prior to accepting an offer, see if you get multiple offers, and then you then start a bidding war, and then you get more than asking price for whoever bids highest for the property. Then you close the deal. So just an FYI, all attached items to your building are part of the land. So for instance, a bookshelf that is screwed onto the wall, if that buyer walks the building and it's attached to the wall, that bookshelf stays. So if you don't want things to stay, you don't want to attach them to the wall. The picture frame hanging on a nail, no, but the nail that's attached to the wall stays. For instance, if you show the property with these drapes and all of that and blinds that are screwed into the wall, that is part of the house. You can't take them with you. A washer and dryer that is attached to the building, it is part of the house. All right. So when some people want to sell their house and keep some of the appliances, they detach them prior to showing. So when you come, what you see is what you get. I'll give an example. An outdoor grill that's on wheels, like, a charcoal grill that's on wheels, that's yours. You can take that with you. But a built-in grill that's attached to the building, that belongs to the land, and you got to leave it. Just an FYI for those selling their homes for sale by owner. I hope that was helpful. Next, we're going to talk about buyers, right? Tips for buyers. So if you're a home buyer trying to buy a home, a few tips I have for you. You want to do an offer pending inspection. So you want to make sure your offer is pending an inspection. Just simple, self-explanatory. Tell the seller, or let your agent communicate to the seller, hey, based on the inspection, I'll pay the asking price, or if there are some repairs that got to be done, then either I can withdraw the offer, or you can make some seller concessions. All right. Types of inspections you want to look at. So let's say you have a house in an area like that's on the outskirts, right, in the suburbs, and they don't necessarily have like all the infrastructure like water, and it's running on a well. You want to do some radon testing. You want to do some water testing. You want to test the water, make sure everything is on the up and up. If you have a septic system, you want to make sure the septic system is functional, because those things are buried underground and you can't really visually tell if they work or not. They can flush the toilet, it works. You cut the water on, it runs, but you never know what's in the water, or if there's a tree that has grown into that pipe or that septic tank and something is wrong somewhere, or you got water flowing into the tank that's filling it up faster than it should be filled up, and then you have to move the entire tank, which is 20-30 grand, just to get that done. So make sure you get just the big things, roof inspection, right? That can be very costly if you got to change the entire roof. Imagine you just purchase a house, next thing you know, you're changing the roof. The HVAC system, super expensive, so you don't want to just buy a house and you're now spending 20-30 grand on repairs. One thing I always want to tell my first time home buyers, or just a home buyer in general, is make sure you save some money up. Let's say 5 or 10 grand for after purchase expenses that you may not see. Nothing is always perfect. There's always something that got to get done. Maybe an appliance goes out, the water heater goes out. Also, try to see if it's a new construction. Look for builder's warranty. Some builders give you a 10-year warranty. Look for these things. Make sure these things are there. They're available. Next thing I would want to take a look at for a buyer is some sellers or owners do seller's warranty. These are things you just want to look at. Get title insurance. Title insurance, what that does is when the deed company transfers the title to you, you don't want somebody coming down the line and claiming that property and saying, oh, this is my house. You don't want that to happen. So you never know. Some of these houses on probate, let's say somebody passed away, there was a divorce, you never know who has claim to the title. And not only legal stuff, but some people just got fraudulent activities going on where they go looking at homeowners that may not be too aware. They pull up records, transfer, it's just fraud going on. They transfer titles to their name, right? So you just want to get title insurance so that when the title company insures your title, they're going to do the legwork to make sure they don't have to pay somebody else or give somebody else that property. So it's insured. So title insurance is something I recommend. Or if you don't want to pay title insurance, do the due diligence and just go through all the title records. Call the county up, see when the house was purchased. Just see all the transfer records of titles and who's been paying taxes on that land. That way there's no discrepancies. Once again, the reason why I recommend title insurance is that a penny wise, pound foolish. Don't try to save a penny, $1,000 on not paying the title insurance. I think it's just a one-time payment. Say, oh man, I don't have an extra $1,000, but if somebody has claim on that house, you're losing a $370,000 purchase. And there's nothing you can do because you didn't insure the title. You may sue the seller, sue your realtor, but that is really, the onus is on you. Hopefully your realtor explains this to you and say, get title insurance. And if they explain it to you in writing and you waive the right to get title insurance, it really falls on you. So don't be penny wise, pound foolish, trying to save a little bit of money on inspections either. Termite inspection, foundations, these are huge things that can really be costly. So you're trying to save money and just get the house, and then later on you got a house where you got a headache, constant repairs and things of that nature. So make sure you get insurance, make sure you get all the inspections needed. Protect yourself. Cover your back, right? And buy with your head and not your heart. What does that mean? Your heart may be telling you this is a nice house and multiple people are bidding on it. And then you go into a bidding war with these people and then you overpay for the price. The house, especially in a market like this, you don't want to go on a bidding war and overpay for a house when the market is very volatile. What if everything crashes? Now you've lost all the equity you overpaid for a house, and you can't really get to sell it or draw any equity out of it. Over time, though, we get to find out that if all things stay well, barring any apocalyptic thing, your house appreciates over time. It just is what it is. As we know, money is never guaranteed. The dollar is always losing value. Dollar in the 70s is not worth the same today. eventually all these currencies are not really substantial, right? So that's just the bottom line of the way things are. It's just how slow or how fast is that money going to lose its value. So I would say buy with your head and not your heart. Think it through. Consult a financial advisor, consult a real estate attorney, dot all your I's and cross all your T's. Speak to a professional, somebody that knows what they're talking about, just because it's probably the biggest purchase you're going to make in your life. Most people, even billionaires, the most expensive purchase they make most of the time is their houses, right? I get it. Some people may have enough money to buy a big piece of jewelry, but even if you're buying a car that's $250,000, you're probably living in a house that's worth more. So that is 9 times out of 10, that is going to be your most expensive purchase. So you want to do the research and necessary work to cover your back. All right. So now we're going to transition into the part where we talk about tips for new real estate agents, right? Real estate agents in general, if you're struggling in your business, this can kind of help you. But if you're a new real estate agent, what would be your first 90 days? If you're struggling in your business, this can be your first 90 days. You can just, as they say, chalk it up to the game. Forget about what happened in the past. Start from here, move forward. What do you want to do? But if you're brand new, well, congratulations. You passed your exam. What do you do now, right? You want to get a broker. I'll make a separate video on selecting a broker, but there's a saying that goes, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are, right? Birds of the same feather flock together. You don't expect to lie with dogs and not get up with fleas. All these different sayings mean the same thing. You don't want to lie with dogs and not get up with fleas, meaning don't go to a brokerage that has a lackluster culture. Those are dogs. I hate to say it like that, but you're going to get fleas, right? And don't go in an environment that doesn't succeed. Because if they're not used to performing, you're going to come in the game and think that's the norm, right? So research your area and see high performers. There are so many different factors. But let's say the most high performing brokerage is like 2 hours drive from your house and you have a local broker and you're self-driven. You may say to yourself, you know what? I would love to go to this high performing broker, but I can motivate myself. I don't necessarily need to be there. I'll rather be at the broker that's closest to my house. Some things you got to look for are the office fees. Some brokerages charge one-time fees, others don't. Others charge monthly fees. Commission splits. Commission splits are good, right? Some brokerages give you 80% split, 70% split. Other brokerages 60%, 70%. But as they say, 60% of something is better than 100% of nothing. So these are all things you want to consider. Are you just chasing the money? Or are you chasing results, right? You may want an 80% split, but you're not performing, then you get 80% of nothing. This is a kill what you eat, a hunter-gatherer industry. Nobody is going to write you a check at the end of the week or at the end of the month based on your drive. You are going to succeed. And on that note, I'll transfer to the next step, right? I was watching this podcast on Tim Grover. He doesn't like to call himself a personal trainer. He has a terminology he refers to himself as. But he used to train Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, Charles Barkley, all MVPs, high performance sports athletes and Olympians and multiple world champions and the greatest in the industries. And he was a trainer for them. And he had a saying that goes, oh, manage focus, don't manage results. You know, everybody talks about time management. Your first 90 days, it's time, right? They were counting time. So it's ironic in this video talking about how you're going to manage your 90 days, your first probationary period You know, if you get a job, that's your probationary period. How you going to manage that time? But one thing I found out when he said that, that kind of struck a chord with me. Manage your focus, don't manage your time. If you're thinking, okay, I got 90 days, you're going to procrastinate and say, oh, I got 90 days. You know, then next thing you know, oh, I got 2 months. Okay, I got 30 days. Next thing you know, a whole year goes by and you haven't done anything. So don't focus on time. Manage your focus, don't manage your time. But if you're focused, and focus is the biggest key to anything really that you do in life as far as succeeding. Just being able to focus when, you know, they call it, there's a saying, I hope my memory doesn't let me down now. It talks about deep work. Deep work. When you work, you cut off the phone, cut off distractions, cut off sometimes even the podcast, the YouTube's, just deep work. You're just locked in, cut off. There's so many distractions now. TV, your phone, this device, so distracting. You know, are you able to do deep work? If you are, you will succeed. So the focus is really, they say time management, focus management is key. You know, time is good. You got to know how to plan and organize. But so what? You plan, you organize. Now it's time to go down your to-do list. And when you're on task number 1, you're picking up a call, you check in your inbox, you're watching something that just popped up that's trendy. You're not focused. You could plan all you want, but if you don't do deep work where you're locked into the task at hand, it's a waste of time. And that's how some people are able to do multiple things, right? You see somebody, they're high performers in one industry, another industry, or with family, with God. We just a lot of different things because they're present at the moment. Whatever they're doing at that moment, they're locked in on it. And it's about managing your focus, not necessarily your time, right? So that was key, and that's going to be key because you're a contractor. You're not an employee. Your broker may tell you, okay, let's cut ties. You're not performing, whatever, but they can't necessarily fire you, right? You can always go to another broker. Brokerages are always looking for people, you know. So it's not a job where you're like, oh, I lost my job, I'm not going to get a check. You are the job. You can take your clients with you. Your clients are your clients, and they necessarily don't care about the name of the broker unless you're introducing yourself. Sometimes that matters. But if you've built relationships, all you got to do is call your client up and say, hey, I switched brokers. My cell phone number is the same. Call me and we go from there. They really don't care, you know. So you're not an employee. Don't worry about that. You are your own boss, so you need to manage yourself. Self-discipline and focus, really. So that is very key. Manage focus, don't manage time. Another thing we want to talk about, daily schedule. Daily schedule. And the key to the daily schedule is you want to plan the night before, you know, because when you plan the night before, you go to sleep thinking about it and it works in your mind already. So when you wake up, you're kind of ready to go. So your daily schedule needs to be on par. And next thing is generate a pipeline. Generate a pipeline or a pipeline generating strategy. Let's rename it that, right? A pipeline generating strategy. Because, so for instance, when you start getting clients, let's say you get a few buyers, you're showing them houses. Always plan the showing after you've done something to build your pipeline. Don't get caught up chasing that deal. When you get that deal, you look around and say, man, I don't have any other deals in the work. Now you're back to square one. That's why you sell one house and then you can't get another deal for another few months. So the biggest thing you need to focus on every single day is building your pipeline. I wouldn't say every day, days off. That's why we do this job right here, is to get some time, free time, But when you're starting off, you grind a little harder. But I say have a schedule, right? And through your week, chase your big rocks, your key performance indicators. What is the thing that affects success the most is generating that pipeline. So even if you got clients, even if you got meetings, even if you got showings, open houses, prior to doing all that, work on building that pipeline. Because once that deal closes, what's next? You want to have something in the works. And that's called the pipeline. It's coming down the pipeline. So some of the pipeline things you need to focus on: your sphere of influence, people you know already. Reach out to them periodically. Let them know what you're into, and just tell them, hey, I'm a realtor. You know, you strike conversations with them. You've already known them. They're in your phone book, you know, or your contact list. Hey, just checking up on you. Ask them how's life. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna ask you, how are you doing? Doing well. Just working on my real estate business. If you know somebody who's selling the house, shoot me a text, and go from there. So sphere of influence, for sale by owners in your area. You know, expired listings. Door knock in your neighborhood. That is very, very key. We're not going to dive into that. I got other videos about door knocking that you can watch. And farm in your area. Farming in your area is like postcards, hand mails, running ads, whether on YouTube, on Google, Facebook, just targeting that neighborhood, or bus stop signs. However you, based on your budget, you just want it to become a thing where you are now the face in that community. They know you're the realtor. It's like every neighborhood got a local grocery store. Every neighborhood got a local McDonald's. Every neighborhood got a local Popeyes, whatever, local restaurant, local gas station, where most people in that area go. You want to be that person in that neighborhood, right? So somehow get your neighbors to know your neighborhood, you know, to know your zip code, to know that you are the go-to person in your industry when it's time to buy, sell, or rent. All right. Conversion requirements. So I saw this quote. It says, what gets measured gets accomplished. So you want to see, let me rephrase that. Let me say conversations. Track productivity. What gets measured gets accomplished. If you measure something, then you can know. That's the whole deal about analytics. You know, IT is information technology, right? It just gives you information. And believe it or not, accounting is a form of information technology. All accounting is giving you numbers, right? Data collection, stats. So what? That can sit in the trash and be no good to you. Where you win is what you do with that information. So you want to measure your conversations and how many of those conversations lead to a transaction, a deal. So if you are having 100 transactions to convert one person, then you can then see per day, per month, per week, per year, how many conversations you need to have, how many new people you need to meet. All right. May probably do a separate video detailing that, but there are some that say 100 conversations for not so trained agents may lead to one deal. So then you want to say 100. That's 20 conversations if you work in a 5-day work week. 20 conversations per day. Maybe some door knocking, maybe some cold calling, going through your phone. You want to have those conversations, so you want to track that. How many conversations? Excuse me. Like I said, it's allergy season. How many conversations convert into a lead? Productivity tracker. That is big in most Fortune 500 companies. Productivity tracker. They want to see how productive you are. right? So you are your own boss. You are measuring your own productivity, and you want to see how can I stay on task. Biggest thing I would talk about through all this is staying consistent. Staying consistent. You have to treat this thing here like a 9 to 5. You may not be able to do full time, but if you're doing it part time, schedule work hours and schedule tasks. And even though the task has been made, remember you're managing your focus and not the time, right? And then don't go chasing every single thing. Have a plan. That's why you need a mentor or coach or somebody that has succeeded. That's why I say, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. You know, some people say, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. You know, birds of the same feather flock together. So if you're hanging around a bunch of losers in the industry, that's what you're going to be. If you're hanging around some successful people, that's what you're going to be. You're going to learn from them, right? So put yourself around successful agents and learn from what they're doing. And then you want to, once they give you key nuggets, you come up and formulate a game plan. That's going to be your daily schedule. I need to make X phone calls, send these emails, whatever you need to do, knock on these many doors. But the key is stay consistent, right? If you go out today, you do the work today, you don't do it tomorrow, don't do it the next week. It's no good. No good to you, no good to anybody. So consistency is the key. Please stay consistent. I hope that helped you. Now we're going to talk about the interest rates and the national housing market stats. All right, so the housing market stats, let's take a look at this. Let's talk about the interest rates first, right? This is as of May 10th. Today's May 15th, so the interest rates may have changed in 5 days. Who knows? But they're not going to be too far from what these numbers are saying right now. Interest rates right now, 30-year fixed rate is at a 6.89. Last week was 6.79, so plus 10, plus 0.10. It is not looking good. Interest rates are continuing to go up, trying to fight inflation. 15-year fixed rate mortgage is 6.23. Last week was 6.17. That went up by 0.06. 5-to-1 ARM mortgage rates, that's adjustable rate mortgage. That's 5.79 this week, which is down 0.02. It was 5.81 last week. We talked about ARM, 5-to-1. These are deals that lenders do during high interest rate markets. They give you a deal where you can lock in a rate for 5 years. So if the interest rate keeps going up, you're locked in. But just imagine if you were locked in last week at 5.81 for 5 years, then it went down this week. So you never know if it's going to go up or down. But we've been trending with inflation. The interest rates have been trending up. So an ARM is an option that you may want to get into. 30-year jumbo rates, that's where you know, 6.93%, which is up from last week, 6.84. It's up 0.09. And then you got the 30-year fixed FHA, 6.989, which is almost 7%. That is tough. And then the 30-year fixed VA, 7.031. So the interest rates continue to rise as the economy continues to tank. So I always tell my buyers, I've been showing houses to this one buyer for going on a couple months now, and the interest rates just keep going higher and higher. So they're just making life harder on themselves. You know, they're waiting on things to drop. And I always tell people, it's always a good time to buy. If you lock in a good interest rate, a low interest rate, you keep it that way, you stay that way. But if you don't lock in a good interest rate, and you come in a high interest rate market, when things drop, you refinance and you drop it, and you'll be fine. National stats. We're not going to talk about all the stats. Mostly for all the good associations and things of that nature, they mostly focus on monthly stats. We already did that last episode, talk about how the month of March kind of went for April. The April numbers will be out soon, and possibly next podcast we'll talk about all the April numbers. But this is according to the National Real Estate Association of Realtors. Metro areas with largest percent gain in existing single family home price as far as Q1 it's quarter one. You split the year into 4 quarters, the first 3 months, January, February, March. So the numbers came out for that. Then you got 3 more months, so 3, 6, 9, 12. So 4 quarters in a fiscal year. Q1, number 1, as far as the largest gain, we're looking at Kingsport in Bristol, Tennessee. Yeah, so we saw that in last week's report, right? Like the southern states kind of saw some boost. So, and just looking at this right here, all 3 of the top 5 are southern states. Well, not necessarily. But anyway, Bristol and Kingsport and Bristol, Tennessee saw 18.9 gain in the price of homes first quarter. Second is actually up. Wisconsin up north. Wisconsin got a lot in the top 10. So the market in Wisconsin is doing pretty well. That's what this is saying right here. Wisconsin got second place, 7th place, and 8th place. Second place with 16.5%. But the home price is very low, $218,000 compared to my market. That's very low. Tennessee is $237,000 low compared to my market here. That's the average sales. Number 3 is Georgia. Warner Robins, Georgia, 16.2% growth, 253,000. These are mostly rural areas where you're seeing the growth. I don't know. I wouldn't say rural areas, but the median price at least is not quite high. Compared to where I live, the city I stay in, it's $440,000 or so. That's the median price. And then the state is 380 if my memory serves me right. Number 4, we got Burlington, North Carolina, 14.7% increase, $304,600 there. Number 5, Elmira, New York, 14.7% growth as well, same as North Carolina. All right, so we're going to talk about the metropolitan areas with the largest percent gain, and then the dollar amount, so you kind of get an idea. As far as national stats, I'm just going to talk about the top 10. It's kind of scattered. I don't see anything really on the West Coast, unless you want to call New Mexico West. It's kind of southern, southwest, but nothing on the West Coast or even the Northwest. I see Southwest. But number 1 is Kingsport, Bristol, Tennessee, 18.9% growth for Q1. That is $237,800 as far as the dollar average, as far as growth. That is huge in a market that's struggling. Some areas, as we read last week, are gaining while others are falling. So Bristol, Tennessee got the win there. Next is Warner Robins, Georgia. Number 2, we got Wisconsin, 16.5% growth, $219,900. Neha, I guess, is the area in Wisconsin. Number 3, we got Warner Robins, Georgia, 16.2%, 253% growth over there. Number 4, Burlington, North Carolina, 304,000 in growth. As far as percentage, 14.7, which is the same as Elmira, New York. But in New York, that only translates to $160,000. That's number 5. So it's kind of spread out a little bit. Then we got Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 14.7 as well. That's kind of like a trend here. And that's 227,000 and some change. I see a lot in Wisconsin. 2, 7, and 8 are all Wisconsin. So Milwaukee and West Isles, you got 13.7%, which is translates to $339,800. Appleton, Wisconsin, 12.4% growth, 274,900. And Santa Fe, New Mexico is 10. At number 9, we got Hickory, Leno, and 12.0, which is 271,000. Santa Fe, New Mexico is 10th. 11.7% growth translates to $609,700. It says 3 of the 10 metro areas with the largest gain in existing single-family home prices in Q1 were in Wisconsin and North Carolina, and the others were in Tennessee, Georgia, Virginia, Oklahoma, and New Mexico. Did I miss something in Virginia? So there's a border area between Tennessee and VA. So number 1 is Tennessee and Virginia, that little border area. Kingsport and Bristol, that little area right there, and North Carolina, all those areas are kind of like grouped in number 1 on this. All right, so those are the national stats. Hopefully that helps out. And I'm going to talk about my local market here. One of the top cities in Prince George's County to live is Bowie, Maryland. Bowie, Maryland, the median home price is $487,000. Pretty high as far as listing price, almost $500,000. Is somewhat affluent. At one point, I don't know if this is true, Prince George's County was said to be the richest black county in America as far as millionaires. I think Maryland is the state with the most millionaires in America. I'm not too sure. And Prince George's County is the most affluent African-American county. This was back in the day. I don't know if that holds true now. I know Atlanta kind of has been doing a lot. So some counties in Atlanta probably overtook Maryland. But at one point in the early 2000s, if my memory serves me correctly, PG County was the most affluent African-American community. And Bowie is one of the higher earning counties, I guess. I wouldn't say earning, but I guess, more affluent county cities in the county. 480K was the median sold price. And the median sold price, that's April 2023. Median sold price is almost 100,000 more than the national average. Median listing price per square foot, we're talking $232 per square feet. It says in April of 2023, the median listing home price in Bowie, Maryland was $487. So people got less than they asked for, $7,400 less. The median listing price we talked about, that's Bowie, Maryland. Waldorf. So I looked at a few different things here. I looked at Rocket Homes. I looked at Redfin. I looked at Zillow, Trulia. You just want to look at different websites, the MLS. You just kind of want to get a ballpark to see. You don't want to get some of these websites overestimate home values and things of that nature, just to kind of get you to want to list your property on their site, and when it's time to sell, you find out your house is not really worth that much. Anyway, that's just about the way. Waldorf, Maryland. Waldorf is in Charles County, close. You're talking Southern Maryland now. Says the Waldorf market is very competitive. Man, I thought Southern Maryland was a little slower. Then I hit Waldorf and the traffic was crazy. I'm like, wow. Nice homes, a lot of farming, bit rural, very spacious as far as houses, but very nice homes. It's weird, right? You got some really old barn looking type of homes, and you got some really new modern constructions. It's a very peculiar place. Homes in Waldorf receive 2 offers on average and sell in around 34 days. This is on redfin.com. Gotta refer your sources, right? 34 days to a month and some change. So that's the Waldorf housing market trends. It says in March of 2023, Waldorf home prices were up 2.8% compared to last year. So the price of the homes are still going up in this area. Median selling price of $225K. On average, homes in Waldorf sell after 39 days. This is another website here. Compared to 19 days last year. 39 days compared to 19 days. So houses take longer to sell now. That indicates a slowdown, even though you may get asking price or over asking price. Now let's look at Clinton, Maryland. Waldorf is in Charles County. I think some parts of it may be in Prince George's County. Not too certain about that. Same with Clinton, Maryland. It's Prince George's County, very close to Charles County as well. So some parts on the outskirts might be part of Charles County. So it's PG County, very affluent area. I actually saw something that said it's the safest, one of the safest or most desired neighborhoods in America, which is surprising. I didn't think so. But Clinton, Maryland, I looked at Rocket Homes right here. It's a seller's market. They have the gauge whether it's a seller's market, neutral, or buyer's market. And this here is indicating that Clinton is a seller's market still, with the median home price of $405,000, which translates to $224 per square feet. It is up. Difference between April of last year and this year is $5,010, which is plus 1.3%. It says key takeaways: homes in Clinton have sold for 1.3% more than they did a year ago. Median home price by bedroom counts. It gives you the breakdown. If you got a 2-bedroom house, you're looking at $267,000. Last year, this year, you're looking at almost $300,000, $299,000. If you have a 3-bedroom, last year you were looking at $360,000. This year you're looking at $375,000. 4-bedroom, $415,000. This year $418,000 plus 0.8%. 5 bedrooms, you're looking at $469,000. This year that is down, so people are not buying the little mega mansions anymore. Mini mansions, not mega mansions. That's that's an oxymoron. Anyway, $449,000 is what it's going for this year. So everything went up other than the 5-bedroom houses. Number of homes for sale, March of 2023, 103 houses, only one difference. April was 104 homes, plus one. Then it goes home for sale per bedroom count. We're not really going to dive too much into that. I want to talk about the last city, Silver Spring, Maryland. Montgomery County, one of the more affluent counties in Maryland. Silver Spring is kind of Has a downtown area very close to Washington, D.C. Georgia Avenue runs right down to Washington, D.C., which is where Howard University is. Silver Spring is very close to the nation's capital. You got, I think the Red Line runs through Silver Spring. It's a metropolitan city. Few office buildings. You got a Discovery building over there. Was it Philmont or one of those theaters over there? A lot of new high rises. It really has like just a small area that's really it looks like a downtown of any city. Not that big as far as the downtown Silver Spring area, but then it's a big city. It's vast in Montgomery County, but some parts of Silver Spring, believe it or not, in Prince George's County, I believe, when you go towards Silver Spring, Tacoma Park, and Langley Park, not so much the most affluent corner of Silver Spring, but I think parts of that is Prince George's County, believe it or not. I gotta confirm that, but I'm pretty sure it is. Sellers Market, I lived in Silver Spring for a few years. It's spread out, really spread out. Good areas for the most part, and houses there are very expensive. It's a seller's market in Silver Spring right now, so pretty costly. The median home price in Silver Spring is $573,000. It's down $21K. So compared to April 2022. So the market is definitely slowing down. $21,000 is a lot of money, but it's a negative 3.7% decline. One bedroom homes go for about $235,000. That's down 5.8%. It was going for $249,000 last year. Two bedrooms are going for $371,000. Last year, this year they're going for $385,000. So two bedrooms are up, one bedrooms are down. Three bedrooms are down as well, almost 6%, 5.9%. Three bedrooms in Silver Spring last year were going for $675,000. Now they're going for $635,000. Four bedrooms are down. There was $747,000. Now it's $721,000. You can see the difference between Silver Spring and Clinton, Maryland. Clinton, you got the $400,000 four-bedroom houses, $600,000 five-bedroom houses. Five-bedroom houses, on the other hand, in Silver Spring is up, which is strange. $850,000, very close to $1 million. Now it's almost $885,000, up 4.1%. So it's not strange for you to see $1 million homes in Silver Spring. Says median sold price compared to nearby neighborhoods. East Silver Spring plus 2.4%.
All right, I would like to
Woodside
say,
Park
please leave me a comment down below. Leave me a tip or advice that you may want to have me work
homes
on.
for sale. March was 135.
In order to
April,
make these,
they saw 147
all right,
homes. So more homes.
All
went
right,
on
I would
the
like
market.
to say, please leave a comment down below if there's
By
anything you'd like me to work on.
almost 9%. People are trying to cash out of that.
To improve the quality of the content, of the topics you like me to
equity
discuss,
before the market tanks
or
all
just
the way,
style you like me to incorporate.
which is
looking very likely.
And
But
we hope it doesn't
thanks
crash.
for
but
watching.
the way things are going, it seems like it's almost inevitable.
All right, so please
But
leave me a comment down below with
that's neither
tips
here
and
nor
advice
there.
of
We shall
anything
see.
you like me
Well,
to discuss.
I hope you enjoyed this
or if there's anything I can do
episode,
to kind of improve the quality
Make
of the
sure you
content.
subscribe wherever you're
Open
getting
to
this
suggestions.
from, your
All right.
podcast from, and please leave me a comment down below if there's anything you would like me to talk about or something you would like me to discuss to make the podcast a little bit better. If you have any questions, comments, concern, make sure you leave a comment down below.